Welcome back to episode 2, and I thought I'd start off just by showing the mods I did mention in the last episode. Most of them are just cosmetic, but I will go through them. Base mod is just the base game itself. Initial scan is that initial map scan I was talking about that basically widens the map area at the start of the game. The mod scans around the starting area when you start a new game. Landfill is just something that basically lets us fill in lakes. The water sources are okay in the game, but they don't really do anything, so landfill lets us pave over them if we need to in our industrial expansion era. Rail tanker is more about rail. I'll come on to that later. It's just basically let us transport liquids, oil usually. Roadworks, yeah, don't worry, just make roads. And trees and other plants. Don't worry about all of these. The only thing I think probably I would recommend is probably landfill. An initial scan is just a nice thing to actually get started with. Everything else, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not going to be using them in any kind of major fashion. So let's go back and load the game from the end of the last episode and the start of this one. So, at the end of the last episode, I finished automation research and started logistics. So I'm on to logistics now. And that stopped because I've run out of science packs again. Typical. Let's just make as many as we can just while we've got this. And how many of these do I have? 113 iron plates. Hopefully I can actually say iron now and not nothing else. You'll notice that those were stopped when I started this. That's purely because they've got an internal buffer size of 50. And if it's full, they won't do any more unless you have something like a chest on the outside. Chests are kind of handy for that. You can empty them just like before. Or if you want to limit the chests, you can click on the X and then drag to shut off parts of this inventory. I don't mind them just making me as much stone as possible. And similar for this over here. So yeah, at this point, we can start to perhaps fill these up a little bit more than we have been doing. We will completely automate that soon enough. There we go. Everything's running nice and smoothly. We've got lots of coal running into our power station, and yeah, I really shouldn't have put them there. I want to expand this outwards, and that lake is going to really annoy me. At some point, I wonder landfill. I should probably look at landfill and stuff like that. I will do that off camera. I'll see if I can reclaim those and sort that one out. So let's put some science packs into play and we'll get ourselves logistics. While that's happening, I also want to start making a few assembling machines. That should do us, and we're going to want the electric versions of inserters. You'll see not just this burner inserter, but there are electric normal inserters, which I didn't cover last episode, and these long-handed ones that I did. These electric ones are just the same as these, they just need power instead of coal, so we could replace those if we wanted to, but since they basically when they transport coal over themselves, they also fuel themselves with coal, so if you're putting them near coal, you never have to touch them. It's great like that. So yeah, that's going, and we're going to wait for those to complete. While we do that, let's put down our first few assembling machines. Now, what are assembling machines? It sounds like they assemble things. So we want one gap here, and I'll try to make sure I place this right. It's never quite right when I place these. We'll see. I think that's the right placing anyway. And there, and I can just leave it up. There we go. So assembly machines can only make one thing. If I look at science packs, it needs copper plate and it needs an iron gear wheel. Okay, so if I set this to, just left click on it, I set it to science packs, you can see now in its top section it needs copper plate and iron gear wheel. So copper plate I don't really have anything for, so I'm just going to temporarily, I've run out of wood, so I'm making iron chests. I'm not running over to find a forest. Oh, and the research is complete. Don't worry about it for now. I'm just going to put, let's just say, a box down here and a box down here. Yeah, that's about right. We're going to put down a couple of inserters. They're going to come up in a second. There we go. We're going to input here, and I'm going to need one other inserter, aren't I? That's ever so slightly annoying since I need iron for it. Okay. Back to the iron. And I really need to give them more power. Yeah, they're all out of power, aren't they? Fine. I will resolve this soon enough. I will be back to solve those issues. And there we go. So I just want one inserter. And this inserter is going to go... In fact, I thought I'd selected science packs there. I did. Okay. I'm going to want the other inserter to go right about here. So you may be able to guess what we're doing here, but if not, I'm going to put... have I got Alt down? No, I don't. That's why I can't see it, of course. Remember to tap Alt. It toggles so you can see what the output of or what machines are using or doing and stuff like that. So this needs copper plate, which is going to get from here. It also needs iron gears, which you're going to get from here. We're going to say build me intermediate products iron gear. And to make iron gears, it's going to need iron plate, which we're going to get from this box. Works, should work quite well. And then we're going to need at least 2 more inserters, but that should be okay. I'll do that in a second. First of all, let's just power this thing up. There and there. Again, these things don't need any coal to get going. So the whole machine is running, and you'll see it's making science packs now. So we're just going to need 2 inserters to push them into the actual science labs, and then it's automated as long as I can push enough iron plates and copper plates into those boxes. Again, that is also a temporary thing. We're not gone to the actual final solution for those. Wow, final solution is a bad way to describe that kind of thing. Okay. Let's grab some more stone. And some copper. So by the time this episode is out, if any of you have this, you may have had a chance to try it. Or if you may be legendary players of it yourself. So, you know, you can feel free to criticize me at will as you're actually doing it. So let's just grab some of these plates and let's get some of this going properly. There we go. And you'll notice that this is actually... well, it's got iron gears. That's got iron gears. I think it's just full now. So we just need a couple more inserters. Like that. And while we're at it, let's choose a new research to get us going. Let's choose optics because I want lights and that will help YouTube. Unfortunately, YouTube darkens everything. And in this game, it gets pretty dark. So, yeah. Okay, one there maybe. Hopefully they should work. They often only work on demand when they need to insert rather than just inserting all the time. Yeah, you see, then they're not filling these up. They're just making it as they need to. When we move on from this kind of setup, which is more on demand, kind of, I guess, we're not going to add buffers boxes like this here, which we could do. They would continually fill up this box then, rather than waiting for these machines. But, yeah, I don't like boxes like that all over the place. Some of these inserters get speed bonuses when they touch boxes like that, but I'm not going to bother with that. What we're going to do instead is just have something like this coal. We're going to have science packs being made and dropped onto a long belt like this and then consumed by these labs. It's I've watched quite a few videos now. It certainly seems the best way to actually do that. So yeah, we'll get that going. And you'll see optics is nearly done. This, at least this starting quick and dirty science thing, will actually get us out of the gate. And I'm going to take the military thing next, I think. Yeah. Military and armor crafting are both good. They both just use red science packs, and they're both equivalent in time. So research, and that will not take long at all. These are personal weapons. And if I just press M for a second, this will show us the map. You see how pollution is kind of left-right, and I think the red is the aliens. Correct me if I'm wrong. And as soon as this gets to the aliens, they're going to start attacking. So yeah, I just want to be a bit careful. But this area is quite good anyway, in that even though I'm going to fill in some of these lakes, it means we've got limited ways for the aliens to come and attack us. They have to come through here, or they have to come through here, or maybe down here. And this central area we can keep blocked off by the water. I don't think the aliens can go through the water. At least I hope not. If they can, I'm in for a very bad time. But that's just me. And in fact, we can get more coal from here as well. Now, I'm just control left-clicking here to pick up a lot of coal. It will take all the coal in these things, but because there's 4 of them running, I shouldn't ever deplete them all at the same time. There will be some energy left in from the last bit of coal rather than anything else, and these can just be filled with coal pretty much. I've got quite a lot in excess now, which is great for us. And let's just grab that. Take all that lovely iron plate out. And the same thing over here. So yeah, this is a top-down game. It is sprite-based if we zoom right in. Oh, and yeah, let's just grab armor crafting. It is sprite-based, but there is higher quality sprites coming, I believe, in the next version. The next version is 0.13. This is 0.12. It has been pretty good so far, so, you know, we'll see how the actual game goes. I'm not expecting full 3D graphics from a sprite-based game, just lots of great gameplay, which is what I'm seeing so far. So, we've got the science thing running, and now we should perhaps look at what we're going to do to, well, to improve this whole situation of me running around and getting stuff manually. What we typically want to do with that is create one of our first factories, which is a combination of lots of different units, and that is usually the what you might call a smeltery or a furnace. Let me just grab some more of these trees because we're going to need power poles, quite a few of them. You don't need a lot of wood really for power poles, because you get to medium power poles soon enough, which use metal rather than wood. But to start off with, at least we'll have enough to get going. So to get our furnace going, we're going to move up to the next phase. Stop using these burners and start using something that is better. And to do that, I think, yeah, it's best to plan backwards here. I think I probably want let's just zoom in a little bit so the darkness doesn't overwhelm the YouTube. I think I'm going to have like a furnace situation going here, because we've got this coal, or we can pipe in the coal from over here. So we can have an iron furnace on this side, and then maybe also a copper furnace with the copper being pulled in from down there, over there, or on the right hand side. That should get us started. So how do we plan this out? Well, first of all, let's just get the electric stuff going. And to do that, we're going to build something. So we go into the production section, and we want to build electric mining drills. Probably even numbers of them. So let's just say 4. And we're going to want some more belts. And after we get enough iron plate going, we're going to want to automate belts so that we always have a chest just like we have with a stone, but with belts available. And probably at some point we're going to want inserters to be made automatic. Let's just actually make some lamps so you guys can actually see things. There we go. Once that's finished with the belts, that is, and it's coming daytime, so those lamps are useless. Never mind. Let's start with the electric mining. So, just like these burner miners, these work in the same way. The yellow arrow indicates where they're going to output to. And in this case, let's say we have them here, 1, 2. In fact, we can put them next to each other. The green area, hopefully that's showing up in YouTube. The green area is the area it can actually mine from, but you can still put them next to each other even when that area is crossing over into the area of the next one. And same thing here and here. So it's going to dump things into this center area, which is where the belts come in. If I get close enough. Like that. I'm going to have that coming out and down here somewhere. Straight down this way. We're also going to need to output that somewhere and then process it later. I don't want to head too far north because of the aliens, so let's for the moment have it running, I don't know, down here. So we want to plan the output bit first. Let's say that once we have all our iron plates, not iron ore, which is what this is going to produce, we want it to output, like, well, helps if I have enough belts left. We want to output this way. So we need to plan around that. Input the stuff here, input some coal, and we're going to get going. So let's get that running. I can grab more coal, 200, 300 of it, and some more steel, and then we can get going. We're going to want some power poles, so let's grab, I don't know, quite a few of those, to be honest. We're going to pipe the power upwards quite a ways. To place power poles, by the way, if you left click on hold and then start running with W, it'll start placing them at the maximum spacing that it can do. So it's really quite efficient to run them up this way. And of course I've got them in the wrong. Never mind. Okay, and it just won't stretch there. Of course it won't. It's going to be slightly off, which is going to really annoy me. Will you stretch? No, you probably won't, will you? So I've got one there. One here. One here. Actually remove that belt piece. Put it there. Hopefully you can see that. And then we hook them up with this final one. And they're now running. And they're outputting iron ore, as you can see. That's great. We're going to do the same thing down here. Now I could combine this actually and then save a lot of stuff by piping it over from here, but I think I'm actually going to use this one. It's a bigger patch, and I'm pretty much I no longer need these really, so we can get rid of that temporary bit for a start. We're not really going to need burner inserters burner mining drills again, I don't think. I can make more steam engines now, but that's fine. I'm going to make 4 more electric mining engines. Yeah, electric mining drills, I should say. Which is going to take a minute. And there we go. So we're going to do the same thing here. It doesn't matter too much if you get, you know, being a little bit inexact here. We're going to end up having to mine pretty much all of this anyway. So it's not too much of a worry if it's going to take a little bit of time. And we're going to need some belts as well. And again, probably run these things in the same way we did on the other section. Let's just put the other 2 down. 4, 5, and then we're just going to run power over there. And this one, hopefully, hopefully, should be okay. Yeah, just around and to the top. Yeah, no, the positioning could be better. But they're running, and it's building up coal. So we can then just get ourselves to make, and again, we can also, you know, we can hold entire burning mining drills. We can also assemble complicated electronic machinery inside our own pockets. Again, no idea who this guy is. It's like Tony Stark on an alien world. Right, so we've got coal coming in. So I could replace these and just jam everything with coal, and that might be a decent thing to actually do regardless. But we're going to send coal up this way somehow. We'll figure that out in a little while. There. And run this across like this. Don't worry about picking these things up. You can always just overwrite them just by left-clicking with other items. You never really have to worry about picking lots of stuff up. And why aren't you actually sending stuff? Is it because it isn't connected on the last one? Oh, there's no belt there. There we go. That helps. So, coal's going to come in here. Iron ore is going to come in here, and we're going to have to do something in the middle. There's a few different ways of doing this, and I'm not going to worry too much about the most efficient way at the start, but I am going to worry about at least making it expandable, even if I have to rebuild it. So let's get started with, let's making at least, I don't know, I probably want 20 of these stone furnaces. It may seem weird that I'm building stone furnaces and not upgrading to electric ones. That's something I think is later in the game, so I'm not going to worry about it. Stone furnaces are fine at the moment because we can power them with lots and lots and lots of coal we're actually able to produce. So let's get started. We're going to want one of the things that logistics gave us, which is splitters, and we may need underground belts as well. we're going to then bring the coal up. In fact, let's plan around the output belt. That's the easiest thing to do. Let's make a few inserters, and that should hopefully bring us up to date. So we're going to want a space. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. We're going to want furnaces, something like this, on either side. Okay, they don't need power, and they're going to output all their actual finished products onto this main belt in the middle. Yeah, there's a few ways we can do this, but that's one of the ways. That should be fine. Or am I? Actually, no. I'll change that slightly. This is one of the instances where I do have to move these things. In fact, did I move the wrong ones? I did. Never mind. Move that one. I may need to move both, actually. There we go. Let's create another belt. Do we have more belts? More belts, please. Shift 3. It's a weird toolbar at the bottom of the screen. The first 5 are 1 through 5. The second 5 are actually shift 1 through 5 rather than 6 through 0. Don't ask me. I did not make the game. So let's just rewrite these like this. And I haven't quite decided which direction this... Oh, it's going to probably have to come this way. Okay. And then we can just run this up through here. Alright, so on this side we're going to need to grab our furnaces. And again, we can make this expandable just by extending this down or up, but you know, the concept works. I'm not going to worry about, you know, doing all this on camera. I am going to, however, need some inserters. So I'm going to need, on this side, to insert from this belt, if I'm not standing on a belt, let's say there, and there. It's going to pull coal from each of these and push them into this. Have I left enough space for... I should probably put space in for power poles. Okay. So let's just move this down. And instead of there, put it there. If only because these don't need power, but the inserters do. We could use burner inserters, but not in this case. I think I want them electric powered. And 2, 3. Do we have any belts yet? I'm going to need more iron. Of course I am. I'm always out of iron. Fine. That's why I haven't demolished these. Make me lots of belts. Cool. So let's get our power across. And in this case, I want the power probably there and here. And you will attach to there, and you will attach to there. Okay. And then let's just place this as far as we can. Of course, that's one block away from connecting. Okay, so let's place one there, one there. Fair enough. So you'll see these are feeding in just fine, as you'd expect. And let's just fill in the rest with belts now. So there we go. We can extend it this way. And this is going to be the output line. So I'm going to need some long-handed inserters as well. And that needs inserters, which needs more copper. I'm out of copper. Fine. I will stop having to run over here soon. I really, really will. And I do need to do that. There we go. Alright, so we want inserters. Lots of them. Okay. So we've got these inserters here, which are going to insert coal. We're going to also need to pull, hang on. No, we're going to need to get the supplies from the outside, so that's fine. We just need the longhand inserters to push this stuff from here to this line. And one here. and here, etc., etc. And then our regular ones just above them like this. Wrong way around. Like that. And then on the outside, we're going to need to bring in our iron ore. There we go. And we're going to need a splitter. Splitters, as the name says, is going to split the inputs here. Let's just put it here for argument's sake. From a single line, which is what we've got up there, to double lines down here. And shift 3. One that way. One that way. I'm not going to worry too much right now about the, again, as I said, about the efficiency of this. But it's just going to be close enough. It's probably going to be okay. Yep, there we go. It's joined. But we have a dual line coming in. This is going to split this among these two. You're going to see it in a second. Whoosh, there it goes. So, as you can see, it's splitting them onto one side of the line. We can rearrange this later so both of these lines are occupied on either side. Again, I'm not going to worry about it initially. It is more efficient to do it that way. In fact, is that even what? Yeah, it is actually filling both sides of the lines. It's not doing particularly well to start off with. It's just the way that this is splitting in. So I'm not worried about it initially. I'll optimize that later. Back to the inserters. And now we just want inserters like this. As long as they're in range. And we need one more. And there it is. And probably another power pole. There. And here too, for that matter. There we go. So what's now happening is this side is producing. And it's going to put plates onto this side. So let's just make a few more of these while I was working. And one more of each kind. That's fine. And the reason I say this is you need the slightly opposite on this side because the belts are opposite. You need to pull coal rather than, you need the opposite way as these. These are going to push iron onto it. In this case, you need to pull coal from that one. And that's what we're going to do all the way up. And again, the same thing applies, but the other way around, you're going to want to push the output onto this belt. So I'm going to need one extra belt there, actually, aren't I? There we go. And yeah, so push the output, push the output, push the output. And again, remember that they always put the output onto the far side of the belt near them. So the left side already full from this side of things. The right side is going to be filled by this side of things. Sounds weird that they're crossing like that. Trust me, it works fine. Except, yeah, I'm not going to... Yeah, so eagle eye observers here may realise I need to move it up there and then supply power. Which is good that I left that extra space at the top of the screen. Didn't do it on purpose. I'm not that good. Okay, so everything has electric power now. This is set up. This is set up. We just don't have any inputs on this side, so I'm going to need like another 5 or 6 of those. Which should mean I can now just, if I just press F and run down, I can pick up electric plates. Which means I don't need to run off over there to that, to our original foundry. Which we can probably now actually just completely get rid of. But I'll leave it there for just the time being. It's handy just in case. And there we go. Our inserters are ready, so we can do the same thing here. I'm going to insert, insert, insert. And there we go. So if you played Minecraft, well, you should have if you're watching my channel, but if you played Minecraft, this is very much like immersive engineering. If you like immersive engineering, you will probably love this game. And you're now seeing that our iron is coming out this way. What I'm probably going to do actually is just change this a little bit, just by changing this underground belt. And that will let me do something along this sort of thing. If I just put one here. one here, and then remove this. As you can see, it goes into there. In fact, we can even extend this even further. Like this. Can we do that? Maybe face it the... never mind. Let's just delete that for the time being. Don't get too smart. But this means I can then send stuff this way. And that is the basis of our foundry. I'm not going to reproduce it on camera for the copper one over here. I'm sure that would just bore you to tears. You've seen that build already. There are other builds that you can do. There's a more compact version of that, which I used to do as well when I was playing the game over the last couple of weeks. And that was basically to have the incoming iron ore and the incoming coal shared on the same belt. So these outside belts would have one side with coal, one side with iron ore. Worked very well, just as fine. And the inserter setup was a bit simpler in the middle. But this just means we... in fact, that's not working, is it? That needs to be... Oh, yeah, I need to make sure that's right. Let's just get rid of that for a second. Get rid of this. Okay. There. To there. There we go. Sorry, I was just distracted by that. So yes, that is a slightly more, well, not really compact, but it requires less of this, these long-handed inserters in the middle, which is a little bit simpler to build. But you have to have more splitters and underground belts to sort out and make sure that they're all going onto the right side of the belt. That's a bit more complex to show you at the kind of beginner level. So again, I'm assuming a lot of you are beginners on this game, so I'm not going to worry about it. I am, however, going to get lots of iron plate. And that's pretty much it for this episode. This is a smeltery episode, so we've got it up and running. Next episode, I will have already done the copper version of that off camera. And I'm not sure, I think I'm going to just pipe the copper ore from over here and have another smeltery right here next to this one. Because then we're going to send these products, the iron plate and the copper plate, elsewhere. And having them both nearby when we start start belting all these goods all over the place is a good idea. So I may well rearrange some of this off camera, by all means. And these have run out. What have you run out? What have you run out? Oh, haha. Yes. At least I have lots and lots of ingredients now. Okay. So that research is going to complete as well. And just to finish off the episode, I want to craft, in combat, I'm going to want to craft a submachine gun that needs copper plate, which I've just abandoned. Give me some back. I want to craft a submachine gun, probably a shotgun too, some magazines and some shotgun shells. They'll appear down here on the right hand side, and you use Q to change between the different weapons. You do, however, need to put magazines in each of them so that you can change between the weapons like this. You see? You can change between them. And to fire, in fact, let's just choose something else. I don't need those belts yet, or smart inserters. Turrets, yes, I do. So to fire, you just press space. When you actually got a weapon equipped, and you're pointing at something, which I've got a rock somewhere I can shoot at. I guess I can point at something. Tree? I shoot a tree. No, clearly I can't. Okay, maybe my gamepad has got space rebound. I need to check that between the episode. Anyway, so that's it for now. And next episode, yeah, we'll come on to doing something with those copper and iron plates. Probably rebuild some of this temporary infrastructure we've got going. This coal thing's temporary. Certainly stone extraction is temporary, as is the copper, as is this science setup. And we're probably going to want to, as you saw in this episode, anything where you're building stuff in your inventory and you're having to wait for it is the enemy. So we're going to want to get rid of that. And to get rid of that, we're then going to want to automate the making of belts, gears, and circuits. And we're going to do some of that next episode. I'm probably going to look at landfill between the episodes as well. So hopefully you'll join me then. If you like this episode, feel free to give it a thumbs up. That helps the channel very much and hopefully helps you guys to vote on whether this has been good or not. Feel free to subscribe, of course, as normal, as well as follow me on Twitter if you want to receive more updates. And yeah, thanks for watching.